I'm Dr. Anissa Holmes, the founder of Delivering Well Education, and inside of our YouTube channel, we're here to help you learn how to scale and grow your business faster. Make sure that you subscribe and click the bell to be notified of future episodes. Recently inside of our community, we've had lots of doctors post that they've received letters from Delta Premier saying that in January 2023, their reimbursements are going to be way less. And so my question for you is, number one, have you received those letters? If so, put it in the comments. But if so, are you getting prepared? I'm not sure how many of you were at our Delivering Well Summit in June, but one of our speakers talked about insurance. And what she said is, guys, we are at war. And the problem is that most of you don't even know it. And when other people have information that you're not aware of, they actually have an advantage over you. And so my question for you is, number one, are you aware of what's going on with your numbers in your business, how much you're actually making and not making with your different insurances? Do you even know how much revenue is coming in, how many patients you actually have on the insurance plans? But again, if you've received this letter, what are you going to do to prepare? One of the biggest regrets that I heard from so many colleagues in 2020 was, I had no plan. I didn't have a rainy day fund. All of a sudden, when COVID hit, I had high expenses that were coming in and I didn't have the income to actually make my expenses. And so inside of this video, I actually want to take some time to help you to better prepare so that when January hits, you're not only ready to go, but you actually have an opportunity to thrive. And so if you know that you're not prepared for what's happening in January, my question to you is, what can you do to get prepared? Now, you might be thinking, Anissa, this is making sense. I have been thinking about going out of network, but I'm actually very fearful. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my patients. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pay my bills. And as a real dentist that's in the trenches, that owns a practice, guys, I get it. I understand, right? And so the question is, how do we overcome that fear? How do we see actual numbers to understand, well, wow, I'm actually going to be okay. In fact, if I make this decision, I'm actually going to make a little bit more. And so the first thing that I want you to do is, I actually want you to run an analysis. I want you to look at, of all the patients, what percentage of your patients are actually on the plan that you're looking to drop. Because what you may discover is, it's not all of your patients. Maybe it's just 30% of your patients. And then you say, okay, of those 300, how many of those patients do we anticipate, or what is trending of the number of patients that actually leave? Now, I'll share some verbal skills with you, because the fact is that they actually won't leave if you know how to communicate better. But say if 40% actually did leave of the 300, right? Now you're looking at only 60 patients. And the question is that if you were to, again, stop decreasing your fees by 40%, all of a sudden what happens is, if you lose those patients, you're still going to be at the same place. And so the question for you is, have you run this analysis? The question for you is, do you know for your different procedures how much profit or how much you're actually making on the procedures? Guys, if you're not aware of this knowledge, this is where we want to start. You can join one of our business boot camps. Inside of those free programs, we actually help you to do exactly that. And so the next thing that you want to look at as you're considering, or as you're preparing for January, is looking at, how are you getting your team ready for the transition? Another fear that lots of doctors have is around their team. They are very fearful that once they make this decision, that the team is not going to be there to support them. A year ago, we actually had a doctor team lead mastermind in Fort Lauderdale. And I remember one of the doctors who wanted to go out of network, she was thinking about it, she actually brought her team. And so one of the exercises that we did was this exercise where the team understood the numbers. And after understanding, oh my gosh, we're only making $5. And what if we're giving discounts to family and friends? All of a sudden, we're not making anything. And so all of a sudden, a light bulb went off. And the team members were saying, this is why we can't get raises. This is why, because there's really not enough. They understood the numbers. They understood the business side of dentistry. And so that's something that I highly recommend, really taking time. Oftentimes, I'll hear doctors say, well, the team doesn't know. The question is, are you providing your team the knowledge, or you're putting your team in a place where they can get the knowledge if maybe you don't have the ability or knowledge yourself to be able to provide that for them. And again, once your team has some knowledge, then all of a sudden they're on the bus with you. They're like, we're gonna figure this out. We're going to do it together. And the third thing that we wanna look at in terms of being prepared for January 2023, or being prepared for going out of network, is really asking, do you have the verbal skills to be able to communicate with your patients? What's also very, very effective and very transparent is sharing why your patients choose to be a patient at your practice. Because when they come to your practice, every time they're going to see the same doctor. When they come to your practice, you're not going to be rushing to cut costs. And so now you can give the procedure the time that it needs. And so all of a sudden we start planting seeds in the patient's minds of why fee-for-service is actually better. Again, guys, very, very important, very powerful to not wait until it's sprung upon you, where the fees are all of a sudden cut, and now you have rising cost of supplies, rising cost of payroll, and you're in a position where you're not able to grow. I know you want the next year to be your best year ever, and guys, we're gonna make that happen by preparing for the future. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that it was super helpful for you. I would love if you could share this video with other colleagues that you know are going through the same process as you. We want to be able to grow together. We want to be able to learn and have the knowledge so that we can serve more patients. Again, Dr. Anissa Holmes, if you love this video, make sure that you hit the bell to be notified and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.